Updog.
Updog. Updog.
Updog Sports Talk.
Welcome to Updog Sports Talk. This is Justin McGovern here, and on to my left here is Matt Miller.
What's going on, guys?
So, right now, obviously, we got another exciting week of college football action. Maction is back tonight. We are currently watching our
Maction is baction.
We are watching our alma mater, Bowling Green, get absolutely crushed by Toledo. They're already down 13-0.
Yep.
It's just been nothing but a comedy of errors. For these picks, we are not including Maction because all 6 games are currently going on right now.
And if you are currently watching while we are filming, you know that is not going very well. It is actually very ugly football.
Yeah, the teams do look a little bit rusty. So we're going to be back on college football picks here. Obviously, our other video NFL picks will be out there on the YouTube if we don't get removed from YouTube after that terrible comment you made about Ron Rivera in that episode.
Hey, my love to Ron Rivera. I cannot talk right now. Ron Rivera. I just had to get a joke out there. Did not land well. Man. My apologies.
Oh no. Yeah. So I don't know. I don't even know if you'll see this episode. We might get kicked off of YouTube. We'll find out. Either way, diving into these picks now. We have been doing 20 games every single week. We don't just pick, the Power 5 teams and stuff. Like, we don't just stick with the big teams and big conferences. We dive into all the conferences, at least most of them. We get some Sun Belt games in there. The American, both of those conferences doing well. The Mountain West.
And probably starting next week, some action games.
Yeah, some action games next week. We do 20 games, and so far this year, I am 70 for 30 on the year. So, yeah, obviously we've done this for 5 weeks now. 100
he's just bragging
so far. Matt, you're not far behind. You're at 61 and 39. I do have to say, 70%, 61%, I mean, that's better than some of the experts out there. Pretty good start to the year.
And these are on the tougher games. These aren't even on, we're picking the easy lob up for us to hit.
Yeah, it's not like we're going in here and, picking Alabama to beat Tennessee and stuff like that.
Yeah.
We're going with some toss-ups here. We had a whole big mess here with the ACC because I wanted to throw one of those ACC toss-ups in there in Virginia and Louisville, and then that game got canceled, so we had to throw another one in there.
The last second, research.
Yeah, literally right before this video started. Yeah. So anyways, diving in now, we'll start out with the ACC, actually. We have the NC State Wolfpack hosting the Miami Hurricanes. The Hurricanes are out to a pretty strong start to the year. NC State's look pretty solid themselves. Do we have an upset alert here?
We do not. Miami is coming off that bye week. Well, impromptu bye week. They look like a much better football team right now. NC State does look pretty good in their own, but Miami was a playoff contender, so they're going to keep it rolling.
Yeah, I was kind of feeling like, it's a Friday night. NC State, usually these weeknight games are kind of their little bread and butter. I was wondering if they could pull the upset, but with their quarterback Devin Leary out, they haven't been playing as good without him. I feel like the Miami Hurricanes are going to take this one. Also, on this Friday night action, a very loaded Friday night, we have 2 undefeated Mountain West teams facing off. The San Diego State Aztecs host the San Jose State Spartans. San Jose State's been a surprise. Can they take down San Diego State here?
They cannot. San Jose State, I want to pick them, but I haven't seen enough of them to really get a good enough opinion to pick them to win. I picked them to win last time, but this time around I'm going to have to go with the other San Diego State.
Oh, man, all these teams in California. I do have to say, San Diego State's looked really good so far. They've looked very efficient on offense. That ground and pound is working well for them. Passing out of the play action. Their defense has just been absolutely dominant so far. I've got the Aztecs winning this one as well. The headliner on Friday night, and ESPN actually had this game as number 5 for the rest of the year is one of the biggest games with implications on on the college football playoff. The Boise State Broncos are hosting the BYU Cougars. You think Boise State has some blue turf magic, or is BYU going to take this one?
Boise State, I don't know. They are playing at home, but BYU looks really good. They look like a playoff team. I got to go with BYU to continue their dominance. They are, 7-0?
Yeah,
they're about to be 8-0.
BYU looks...
They are going to take that blue turf.
I mean, BYU looks really good. Boise State's quarterback, Hank Bachmeier, we don't know if he's going to play either. Although their backup, Jack Sears, also looks super good. I have to say, though, I don't quite trust the Boise State offensive and defensive lines. BYU's look very strong up front. I think the Cougars take this one. Next, we have the Virginia Tech Hokies going and facing the undefeated Liberty Flames.
I really, really want to pick Liberty.
They're ranked for the first time.
They're ranked for the very first time. They're undefeated. They got Hugh Freeze, right?
Yeah, Hugh Freeze in there.
They just haven't had any competition. I can't pick them. I'm going to have to go with Virginia Tech. Virginia Tech is from the ACC. They are kind of a more well-rounded football team. There's a cat breaking into the door behind me. It's very distracting.
But yeah, I do have to say, I'm not sure how Liberty's defense is going to hold up against Virginia Tech offense. Liberty, I think, is going to put up some points themselves, but I think Virginia Tech can take this one in the shootout. Next, we have the Texas Longhorns hosting the West Virginia Mountaineers. They're both 4-2 on the year. Every single time we think Texas is going to get it together, they don't seem to. What do you think they're going to do here?
I've picked Texas a few times. They have gone against me and lost. I have picked them to lose a couple times. Whatever. Not Texas.
West Virginia.
Yeah. I hate Texas. They've been screwing up. They're the reason why I'm 61 and not 70.
The Longhorns, I don't know what to make of them. They seem to have improved the past few weeks, even though they spent 2 weeks bickering about whether they're going to sing a song or not. But it seems like they're rounding into form now. I'm not sure if West Virginia is going to string together 2 good games after the upset over Kansas State last week. I've got the Longhorns in this one. Up next, we have probably the second best odds for a playoff berth for the Big Ten, the Indiana Hoosiers, out to a surprising undefeated start. They host the Michigan Wolverines. Michigan was upset last week and possibly the worst loss in the Jim Harbaugh era. Who do you think is going to take this one?
I got Michigan. Jim Harbaugh has Indiana's number. Indiana probably should be 1-1, if not 0-2. Michigan, tough loss. They got to bounce back. It's at Michigan, right?
It's at Indiana.
At Indiana, Michigan's still going to win.
Yeah, I want to pick Indiana. They've looked pretty good so far this year, and I'm not really, after watching Minnesota struggle again last week, definitely makes me not sold the Michigan offense. But at the same time, this just feels like the kind of game that Indiana's not going to be able to win. I feel like Michigan takes this one. Next, we have our Pac-12 opener. We are going to be picking all the Pac-12 games this week, but the season opener is noon on Fox. That is noon Eastern time, so 9 a.m. 9 a.m. their time. I don't know what they're thinking with this game, but the USC Trojans host the Arizona State Sun Devils. Who do you think will take this one?
Herm Edwards and Marvin Lewis will bring home a win for Arizona State.
The Herman Marvin Show.
Mm-hmm.
I do have to say, I was almost thinking Arizona State too, but USC is one of the teams that's been impacted less by the opt-outs compared to others. They have a lot of offensive talent. I think they'll be
They're
ready to go
also
in this
ranked without a win or a loss.
I definitely do not agree with that. I don't know how in the world you can rank a team that wasn't even that good last year without a win or a loss this year. That was a little bit ridiculous.
Yeah.
But, I mean, they'll probably be ranked at this one. I've got the Trojans taking down.
They're probably ranked for letting Reggie Bush back into the facility.
Yeah. I saw the 30 for 30 actually last night. The brief end of it about how Reggie Bush wasn't a part of the team anymore. And I was like, oh, well, they are now.
Yeah.
Next, we have probably the third best odds in the Big Ten for a playoff berth. The Northwestern Wildcats are a surprising 2-0. Their new and improved offense came down to earth a little bit last week, but still was enough to come back and beat Iowa. Northwestern definitely, I would say, is safely improved on the offensive side of the ball. Nebraska had a surprise week off. Who do you think will take this one?
I think Scott Frost can walk out of there with a win. They looked ready to go against Ohio State, and then Ohio State blew them out after that. But they just looked a little better.
Yeah. Yeah, it feels like Scott Frost and staff. It feels like they're making some good steps here. Definitely things got a little bit messy there against Ohio State. A lot of the game didn't feel like it was that bad. I think Nebraska can go and take this one from Northwestern.
Yeah, Northwestern's offense is good, but how long are they going to keep it up? That's my thing.
Yeah, I like that Nebraska offense. That offense with the two quarterbacks they got going on there. I feel like it's going really well. Next, we have some Sun Belt action here. We have the Georgia Southern Eagles and the Troy Trojans. Obviously, a lot of the headlines in the Sun Belt, went to Coastal Carolina, Arkansas State, Louisiana Lafayette for being the Big 12 teams. Appalachian State's always good. But quietly, these two are sitting at 4-2 as well. They might be a little bit outside shot to win the conference, but they're looking like pretty solid teams. Who do you got in this one?
I got Georgia Southern. Georgia Southern just looked better the last few games to me than Troy has. Got to go with Georgia Southern.
I gotta say, I think Troy is ready to make a statement here. The Trojans are for real. I have Troy taking down Georgia Southern. Next, we have the Cincinnati Bearcats. They've made some impressive statements the past 2 weeks, destroying SMU and Memphis. Can they do it again against the Houston Cougars? Matt, I know you're going to pick UC since you're a UC fan, but are you worried that the Houston Cougars could spring an upset?
Not even a little bit. Houston has 2 losses. I didn't see to who, but I can assume they're not top 25 teams, or at least not top 10 teams. UC is on a roll right now. Desmond Ridder looks like he's running the ball better than ever. And he's a better passer than he was last year, too. Run game's starting to pick up a little bit. Defense playing lights out football. The only thing about that is they were off those 3 weeks, so their workout program was a little different, and now a lot of their defense is starting to get hurt later in games. That's the only question mark I have for UC right now, but I think UC is going to continue their run of dominance.
Yeah, I definitely don't have a lot of faith in the Houston defense. Cincinnati's offense, like you said, is rolling into form here. Their defense has been dominant. Houston wasn't even that impressive offensively last week. I mean, they only put 21 against a bad UCF defense. So I have to say that the Bearcats will roll in this one. I got the Bearcats. Next, a big game of playoff implications on the line here. The what is it called? The Battle of the Salvers.
Whatever. There's a whole band for that.
The cocktail party. That's the world's biggest cocktail party with no fans in the stands this year.
Oh, that sucks.
We've got the Georgia Bulldogs and the Florida Gators. Obviously, both teams with 1 loss. This is a playoff elimination game. The winner of this game still will get a shot at Alabama in the SEC championship. They would have to win that game to make the playoff. Loser is out. Who do you got?
It's going to come down to quarterback play. Bennett is not as good as Trask. Kyle Trask is going to win this game for the Gators, and Georgia will be put in their place thrown out of the playoff and go back to that trash heap hole of theirs in Athens, Georgia.
Man, a lot of hate for Athens, Georgia here. Wow.
Not unwarranted. Unwarranted. They did nothing to me. I've never been there, but
Oh, that was rough, man. That was rough.
felt like I had to call someone out.
Yeah, although, I mean, you could call it Florida, too.
The COVIDs.
I have to say, Georgia's definitely led by their defense, but their defense is not quite as strong as they have been in years past. Still one of the better ones in the SEC, but I feel like Kyle Trask and that offense, they're going to manage to score some points. And Stetson Bennett stinks. He's not good enough to keep up.
Georgia's going to have to pass the ball to win this game, and it's not going to happen.
He's not going to be able to do it. Yeah, I got the Florida Gators as well. Another Pac-12 opener here. We have the Utah Utes taking on the Arizona Wildcats. Utah was even in the playoff race late last year before getting blown on the Pac-12 championship. Arizona kind of struggled a little bit. What's going to happen this year? What do you think?
Well, Utah played great last year. I think they're going to play great again this year. Arizona, back to bottom feeding. Mm-hmm. They're not going to compete in this game.
I have to say, Utah lost a lot from last
Utah
season.
Also just extended their head coach right before the show. So.
Right before the show aired, Utah extended their head coach. I mean, how about that? You haven't played a game this year. You got an extension.
Yeah.
But yeah.
5-year extension.
Utah has lost a lot of players, but yeah, I can't see Arizona improving enough. I mean, they don't even have Khalil Tate anymore. I see Utah taking this one. Next, we have a Big 12 showdown that was a lot more exciting last week. Kansas State and Oklahoma State, both teams were in the top 15 entering last week. Both teams lost, taking a lot of shine off of this battle. Both teams definitely out of the playoff race. The loser is probably out of the Big 12 conference race. Who do you think will take this one?
There's actually a couple points on this one for me. Oklahoma State is going to win. Mm-hmm. They're the Big 12's only hope to make it to a playoff.
Not anymore. Not after that loss to Texas.
Hey, if all the other undefeated teams lose one game, they're back in it. They're their only hope. But Kansas State has been an emotional roller coaster this season. They blow out, or they beat Oklahoma and then have a couple big wins, and then they lose a couple bad games. So I have to go with Oklahoma State on this one.
Yeah, right now it seems like Kansas State is dropping off a little bit now that their quarterback Skylar Thompson's hurt. Definitely Oklahoma State's defense is good enough to take advantage of that. Similar to West Virginia, Oklahoma State, they're the two of the better defenses in the Big 12. I think Oklahoma State's going to shut them down a little bit and score enough to win at the Cowboys. Next, another Pac-12 opener here. We have the Colorado Buffaloes taking on the UCLA Bruins. Colorado looked like they made some progress, and then they're starting over again with another new head coach. Mm-hmm. UCLA has been very disappointing so far in the Chip Kelly era. They've gone nowhere. What do you think is going to happen here?
Well, Chip Kelly has been around for a couple years, and I think they are returning a decent amount of their starters. Mm-hmm. Colorado, brand new coach, don't know what that's going to be like, so I have to go with UCLA in this one.
I'm going to have to go with UCLA as well. I think Chip Kelly with his quarterback and a lot of offensive weapons back, I feel like UCLA will be the better team in this one. I have the Bruins as well. Next, we have the Arkansas Razorbacks and the Tennessee Volunteers. Arkansas looked like one of their better teams in the SEC, but they're actually 2-3 in the year. Tennessee also 2-3. They've lost 3 in a row. They desperately need something to get back into it. Can they do it here?
Well, first of all, Arkansas has a state law that says it's supposed to be called Arkansas. So that's why, since I'm not in Arkansas, I can call it Arkansas. So Arkansas is going to win this game.
Seriously, how the hell do we have, how does putting AR in front of Kansas make it all of a sudden Arkansas? That doesn't make any sense at all.
It's a backward state. That's why they have a law telling you how to pronounce it.
I also did not realize until I saw that law that is what did that. I was like, is this some silly thing we're doing in the American language here with this? No, I think it's the state itself that's backwards. With that being said, I've got Arkansas. Next, we have the Oregon Ducks taking on the Stanford Cardinal. Oregon was a strong team last year, but a couple upset losses took them out of the playoff race. They now lose a lot of players to the draft and opt-outs. Stanford, on the other hand, going really far south in the David Shaw era. They've dropped off the past few years, but maybe this year could be a rebound year. Who you got?
I got Oregon, and I believe it's actually called Stanford the Cardinal. The Cardinal. I got Oregon in this one. They've been a better program the last few years. They may have lost a lot of starters, but they always get pretty good recruiting classes. Stanford, their recruiting classes have been falling off a cliff.
Yeah.
I can't pick Stanford as a Notre Dame fan, so I got to go with Oregon.
I do have to say, yeah. Oregon definitely has been strong in the recruiting trail. There's definitely a lot of question marks about this team. But, yeah, I feel like I have to go with the Ducks as well. Next, we have our replacement ACC game here. We have the Florida State Seminoles playing the Pittsburgh Panthers. Florida State's looked pretty bad most of the time this year, except for randomly upsetting North Carolina. Pittsburgh looked strong early, and now I think has lost like 4 in a row, and they just seem to get worse and worse every week. Who do you got in this one?
I have Pittsburgh, half because Florida State is terrible, and half because my wife went to a college near the city of Pittsburgh. So I got to go with Pitt on this. Florida State is promising with Travis at quarterback, but they got no one else around him, so he's kind of fighting for his life and getting hurt every single game. So Pitt.
I'm gonna ride the wave on this one because it just seems like Pittsburgh has just dropped off. I don't know what's wrong with them, but they're falling apart. I got the Florida State Seminoles taking this one. Next, more Pac-12 action here, season opener. The Oregon State Beavers take on the Washington State Cougars. Oregon State made some progress last year. Washington State no longer is Mike Leach around, but another fun offensive mind still there. So, what do you got in this one?
I'm going to go with the Oregon State Beavers, the original OSU. Just kidding. Just kidding.
I don't know about that.
I got to go with Oregon State here. They're going to build a dam on defense and keep the Cougars out of the end zone.
You see, the dam on defense that Oregon State has couldn't even hold in a small, like, line of water that's going through, like, a sewer. Their defense can't stop anything.
Both teams are actually pretty bad. Was it Washington State?
Yeah, Washington State.
Washington State. They lost their coach. Mm-hmm. They got a new one. It's so unpredictable with new coaches. They could probably go 0-12 or 0-8 or 0-7, whatever, however many games they're playing.
I don't think so. I've got Washington State winning this game. I think their offense will light it up. It will be a shootout, and I think they're going to just barely pull this one off. Next, more Pac-12 after dark action here. We got the Cal Golden Bears taking on the Washington Huskies. Cal's won the last 2 meetings here. Who do you got?
Chris Peterson retired randomly. I guess he no longer wanted to coach for Washington, so they got a new coach. I am not going with that new coach. I have no idea who he is, where he came from, but he just doesn't sound like a good coach to me.
Man, judging this guy before he even coaches.
Yeah, I know. So I got to go with Cal. They actually weren't half bad. I believe they finished second in the conference. Yeah, in the North.
Yeah, they were pretty
last
good.
year. So they, I got Cal on this one.
Cal is actually a bit of a threat to win the league, really. But with that being said, their coach is their former defensive coordinator, Jimmy Lake.
They've never played defense a day in their life.
You are right, though. Like, Chris Peterson did not want to coach at Washington anymore. He just maybe didn't want to coach at all, really. He got tired, burnt out. I think that's why Washington regressed last year. I feel like with a new coach, new attitude, I feel like it's going to come out here in the first game. Washington's going to go and spring a little bit of a surprise by beating the Cal Golden Bears.
Upset
there. Finally, we have our
Game of the week.
We have two teams in the top 4. Notre Dame is, I mean, this is the game for them. This is the biggest game of the year. If Notre Dame's going to make a playoff run, they have to go at home, take down a Clemson team that's missing Trevor Lawrence and one of their top defensive tackles. If Notre Dame and Brian Kelly is going to do it, this is their shot. Will they do it, Matt?
They will. Upset alert. Upset alert. No Trevor Lawrence, no defensive tackle for Clemson. Notre Dame has been getting better in the pass game. Really good at the run game. Defense has actually been stepping up too.
Yeah.
So I got to go with Notre Dame, especially at home. Another question mark for later in the year if they face in the ACC championship game. But as of right now, I got Notre Dame in this game.
Yeah, I do have to say, I mean, a lot of things have gone their way. I mean, Clemson having to travel up to South Bend in late November is definitely another thing. Although, to their fortune, it seems like we have some surprisingly warm weather. I don't know. For whatever reason, it just, this feels like the kind of game that Brian Kelly, Notre Dame's going to let slip through the fingers, and Dabo Swinney and Clemson's going to do what they do best and pull this out of their ass. I don't know how, I don't know why, but I feel like, Dabo and those Clemson Tigers are going to pull it off.
All right, well, we shall see. I've noticed one thing about the show.
Mm-hmm.
It's like a boring version of Step Brothers.
What?
Yeah. We're just a bunch of idiots on the camera here.
Mm-hmm. I mean, hey, we're out here. We're picking some of the more random games. We pick competitive games. We're not afraid to look stupid. But so far, I mean, you look at our records, we're
better than the other networks.
We're doing pretty well. I mean,
we may be idiots, but we're better than those idiots at other networks.
Hey, we're not as stupid as we appear.
Yeah.
Exciting slate of games this weekend. Can't wait to watch them. Matt, any closing thoughts?
Go UC, go Notre Dame. Everyone else.
I mean, you're looking at between your two schools possibly for a playoff berth here. So,
how funny would that be if they played each other in the playoff?
Oh, that'd be so fun. Who would you even root for?
I don't know. That would be a hard one. I might have to go with UC just because it's hometown.
It would probably never happen. I really hope if we get Ohio State UC national title, all Ohio national title,
just like 1960 in basketball.
Yeah, the 1960s when I think they played 3 years in a row.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, I think that's the show on that bombshell.
Well, everybody, have a good rest of your week. Hope you enjoyed the show. Matt, you obviously know that we're on all the networks and stuff, or the social media things. So go out there and find us. Have a good one, everybody.
Follow us on YouTube, or not? You're already on YouTube. Follow us on Twitter at Updog Sports Talk and Instagram at Updog Sports Talk. Send us your thoughts. If you want us to talk about anything other than pick'ems, then let us know. We are always accommodating to that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
So
you got that.
All right. See you guys.
Have a good one, everybody.